y'all. So today is party day. So I am heading to Walmart to pick up my order for tonight. So many people on my road because they're building this house next door to us. Anyway, heading to Walmart to pick up my order. I didn't get much because we always have way too much food and I just overdo it there's dust all over me, y'all. I've just been dusting. We always have too much food, so I'm just gonna do cream cheese and pepper jelly and crackers because everybody likes that, and that's just something I don't have to cook. So we're gonna do that, and I'm picking up drinks, obviously. But yeah, I have just been straightening up everything. I've just been paying attention to all of the details, like making sure there's no like cat hair on anything and stuff like that. So I'm so excited. I don't know what I'm gonna wear tonight, but I'll figure it out. Definitely need to make some coffee because I thought I put on the invite that the party starts at 6. I think it starts at 6 every year, but I just went and looked and I put that it starts at 7. So we have like all day until the party starts. So it's gonna be a long evening, but I'm sure people will show up early. So, oh, by the way, I've also been filming my Christmas home tour. Since the house was going to be super clean, I decided that was the perfect time to do it. So that's why I kind of been holding out, because it's just the cleanest when people are coming over for a party. So I hope that y'all enjoyed it. I'm going to edit it once I get home, but y'all have already seen it. So, and then tomorrow I'm going to the Lucky Rabbit with Donna and Delana. Can't wait for that. It's gonna be packed. All right, y'all, it is almost time for the party. I've just been running around and I finally just got a second. I've been filming my Christmas home tour and Cody's outside getting the little fire ready, and I'm about to set out some food. So yeah, we're about to have a good time. Everything looks so pretty and we are ready. I just hung up these little silhouettes today. Aren't they so cute? I think they go perfectly right here.
Hey, is that you? That is you, right? Okay. You and Santa?
Somebody tells me no, right? Just go laugh. Yeah, you're just going to see me on the floor like...
Like trading the same thing.
Not like out.
What'd you get?
Battery pack.
A what?
Battery pack.
Missing?
Oh, no. You don't want it. You don't want it.
So like charging your phone and stuff?
Yes. You don't want it.
So you never been to a casino?
Come on.
You can do it, Aiden! You can do it, Aiden!
Gosh. Hey, take your time, son.
Don't
Hit it!
No!
No!
Doubles.
Wow.
Did you get the
Whoa, son. Whoa, where's Katie? Oh, it was close.
These are the types of games that we know what.
Oh my goodness.
Joke's on you.
You got it!
Hard.
I'm telling you, you're
Your hands hurt.
You got it! He dropped it!
Mom, hurry.
Gut wrenching on you. You just got hit on the water. I can't
If I can't win, no one can.
Boy, come get her.
I swear you're not playing that fearless.
Alright.
She got it.
Push her over. Wait, those were fours. Give it.
What are you doing?
No
Those were
way.
fours. Dang it.
Nobody said that.
just me and you.
Yes, indeed.
Party's over.
Party's over.
We're sitting by the fire. We had so much fun. It was perfect.
Probably the best one we've had.
Yeah. Everybody had fun.
So much fun.
Yeah. What time is it? 11:45?
It's 11:43 right now.
Yep. People just literally pulled out
Yep.
to leave.
Last 2 guests left just now.
We had so much fun. We, first of all, we sang a bunch of songs. We sang all 12 days of Christmas. We sang Feliz Navidad. We sang all kinds of stuff. And then we played Mad Gab, which is so much fun. We had lots of laughs. And then everybody just left and we're just out here. We just need to cool off. It was so hot in there. But, we just let the boys out. They were in the bathroom all night, but they did good, and we let them out just while a few more people were here so they could get some loves. But Arthur's watching us through the window. Let me show y'all. Poor baby. He's like, Mom, Dad. Oh, there's Leek.
Oh, I love them.
Same. So sweet. Tired?
I am.
You're officially on vacation. How you feel about that?
I feel like I'm like pre-vacation right now.
Really?
I feel like it'll be official whenever we're on our way to your mom's
On Monday?
on Monday.
Yeah. We've got lots of packing to do. I'm tired too. Do we need to put this out?
Huh?
I said, do we need to put this fire out?
No, it'll just burn and go out on its own. I'll put the cover over it.
This is what I won in Dirty Santa. And it's perfect for our trip. Aren't these so cute? And they're big. My friend Katie bought these. Dirty Santa was so much fun. Cody didn't end up with something he liked. He ended up with like Starbucks or something. He doesn't even drink coffee.
I never get anything.
He really doesn't get anything.
I never ever get like cool stuff.
Somebody left this lava lamp here. So he's checking it out.
I look horrible right now, I'm sorry. Is this my vibe?
I think it's a nod to your, what is it called? Generation?
My early days, the 90s.
The 90s.
How do you do it? You just plug it in?
Yeah, you just plug it in.
I've never had a lava lamp.
Really?
Never.
I did. Mine was blue. Whoever this was for is going to be watching this like, oh.
Well, finders keepers.
No. If somebody fesses up to it, not fesses up, but claims it.
If they fess up to it. If somebody claims it, I'll give it back to them, but also, you left it, so.
It must have not meant that much to
Right.
you.
Oh, it's going the wrong way. Who's that?
Oh my goodness. What was that?
Who's that?
Link? Link.
Did you put this on top?
What?
That little hat thing?
Oh yeah.
Take this off. Plug it in.
Plug it in. Plug it in. It's about to be lava.
Probably takes it several minutes, don't it?
Ooh, pretty. Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, before I end this vlog, I am popping in to read our chapters for today. So I'm gonna read Luke 19 and 20. I got a little behind, but it's no problem. We're just gonna read 2 chapters together. I have really been enjoying reading these chapters with y'all, and I love it when y'all give me your insight to it too. So, all right, so we're starting in Luke 19. We're in the Passion Translation. And it says in verse 1, on his way to Jerusalem, Jesus had to pass through Jericho. There lived a very wealthy man named Zacchaeus, who supervised all the tax collectors. He was very eager to see Jesus and kept trying to get a look at him through the massive crowd. Since Zacchaeus was a short man, he couldn't see over the heaps of people. He ran on ahead of everyone and climbed up a blossoming fig tree to get a glimpse of Jesus as he passed by. When Jesus got to that place, he looked up into the tree and said, "Zacchaeus, hurry on down, for I must stay at your house today." So he scurried down the tree and found himself face to face with Jesus. As Jesus left to go with Zacchaeus, many in the crowd complained, "Of all the people to have dinner with, he's going to eat in the house of a crook." Zacchaeus was amazed over his gracious visit to his home and joyously welcomed Jesus. Zacchaeus stood in front of the Lord and said, "Half of all that I own I will give to the poor. And Lord, if I have cheated anyone, I promise to pay them back 4 times as much as I stole." Jesus said to him, "Your repentance shows that today life has come to you and your household, and that you are a true son of Abraham. The Son of Man has come to seek out and to give life to those who are lost." At this time, Jesus was getting close to entering Jerusalem. The crowds that followed him were convinced that God's kingdom would fully manifest when Jesus established it in Jerusalem. So he told them this story to change their perspective. Once a wealthy prince left his province to travel to a distant land, where he would be crowned king and then return. Before he departed, he summoned his 10 servants together and charged them, "I am entrusting each of you with $50,000 to invest while I am away. Trade with it and put the money to work until I return." Some of his countrymen despised the prince and sent a delegation after him to declare before the royals, "We refuse to let this man rule over us, for he will not be our king." Nevertheless, he was crowned king and returned to his land. Then he summoned his 10 servants to see how much each one had earned and what their profits came to. The first one came forward and said, "Master, I took what you gave me and invested it, and it multiplied 10 times. Splendid, you've done well, my excellent servant. Because you have shown that I can trust you in this small matter, I now grant you authority to rule over 10 cities. The second came and said, "Master, what you left me with has multiplied 5 times. His master said, "I also grant you authority in my kingdom after 5 cities. Another came before the king and said, "Master, here is the money you entrusted to me. I hid it for safekeeping. You see, I live in fear of you, for everyone knows you are a strict master and impossible to please. You push us for a high return on all that you own, and you always want to gain from someone else's efforts." The king said, "You wicked servant, I will judge you using your own words. If what you said about me is true, that I am a harsh man, pushing you for a high return and wanted to gain from others' efforts, why didn't you at least put my money in the bank to earn some interest on it?" The king said to his other servants, "Take the money he has and give it to the faithful servant who multiplied my money 10 times over." "But master," the other servants objected, "why give it to him? He already has so much." "Yes," replied the king, "but to all who have been faithful, I will give even more to them. And for the ones who have nothing, even the little they seem to have, I will take from them. Now bring all of those rebellious enemies of mine who rejected me as their king. Bring them here before me and execute them." After saying all of this, Jesus headed straight for Jerusalem. When he arrived at the stables of Antioch near the Mount of Olives, he sent 2 of his disciples ahead, saying, "When you enter the next village, you will find tethered there a donkey's young colt that has never been ridden. Untie it and bring it to me. And if anyone stops you and asks, 'What are you doing?' just tell them this: 'It is needed for the Lord.'" The 2 disciples entered the village and found the colt exactly like Jesus had said. While they were untying it, the owners confronted them and asked, "What are you doing?" The disciples replied, "We need this donkey for the Lord." After they brought the colt to Jesus, they placed their prayer shawls on its back, and Jesus rode it as he descended the Mount of Olives toward Jerusalem. As he rode toward the city, people spontaneously threw their prayer shawls like a carpet on the path in front of him. As soon as he got to the bottom of the Mount of Olives, the crowd of his followers shouted with a loud outburst of ecstatic joy over all the mighty wonders of power they had witnessed. They shouted over and over, "Highest praises to God for the one who comes as king in the name of the Lord. Heaven's peace and glory from the highest realm now comes to us." Some Jewish religious leaders who stood off from the procession said to Jesus, "Teacher, order your followers at once to stop saying these things." Jesus responded, "Listen to me. If my followers were silenced, the very stones would break forth with praises." When Jesus caught sight of the city, he burst into tears with uncontrollable weeping over Jerusalem, saying, "If you could recognize that this day peace is within your reach, but you cannot see it. For the day is soon coming when your enemies will surround you, hem you in on every side, and lay siege to you. They will crush you to pieces and your children too, and they will leave your city totally destroyed. Since you would not recognize God's day of visitation, you will see your day of devastation. Jesus entered the temple area and forcibly threw out all of the merchants from their stalls. He rebuked them, saying, "The scriptures declare, my Father's house is to be filled with prayer, a house of prayer, not a cave of bandits." From then on, Jesus continued teaching in the temple area, but the high priests and the experts of law and the prominent men of the city kept trying to find a strategy to accuse Jesus, for they wanted him dead. They could find no reason to accuse him, for he was a hero to the people, and the crowds were awestruck by every word he spoke. Okay, and now we're going to move on to Luke 20. Verse 1 says, "One day Jesus was teaching in the temple courts and sharing with the people the wonderful news of salvation. The high priest, the experts of the law, and the prominent men of the city confronted Jesus and asked him, 'We want to know right now what authority you are teaching here in the temple, and who gave you the authority to teach these things?' Jesus responded, 'First, let me ask you a question. You tell me right now, did John baptize because he had commission from heaven or merely from men?' His interrogators pulled themselves aside to consider how to respond to Jesus. 'What should we say? If we say that John's mandate was from heaven, he will ask us, then why did you believe him and be baptized? But if we say John's mandate was merely from men, then all the people around him will stone us, for they believe John was a prophet of God.' So, unable to devise an answer, they said to Jesus, 'We cannot tell where John's authority came from.' Jesus said, 'Neither will I tell you by what authority I do these things.'" Jesus taught the people using this story. A man once planted a vineyard, then leased it out to tenants. Then he left to go abroad and was away for a long time. At harvest time, the owner sent one of his servants to the tenants to collect the landowner's share of the harvest. But the tenants sent him away, beaten and empty-handed. So the owner dispatched another one of his servants to collect his portion, but the tenants treated him the same way. They cursed him, beat him, and sent him away empty-handed. And then the owner sent a third servant, but they brutalized him also with the same treatment. Finally, the owner of the vineyard said to his son, "Perhaps if I send you, my own cherished son, they will be ashamed of what they've done." But when the tenants saw the son coming, they schemed among themselves, "This is the heir of the vineyard. If we kill him, the inheritance will be ours." So they threw the son off the property and killed him. I ask you, what do you think the owner of the vineyard will do to his son's murderers? He will come back and destroy them and give his vineyard to another. When the people heard this story, they all agreed, "This should never happen." Jesus looked straight at the people and their leaders and said, "What do you think this verse means? The worthless, rejected stone has become the cornerstone, the most important stone of all. Everyone who falls in humility upon that stone will be broken. But if that stone falls on you, it will grind you to pieces." When the high priests and experts of the law realized that the story was about them, they wanted to have Jesus arrested at that very moment, but they were afraid of all of the people. Later, they sent spies who pretended to be honest seekers, but who wanted an opportunity to entangle Jesus by his words. Their plan was to catch him saying something against the government, so they could hand him over to the jurisdiction of the Roman authorities, who would execute him. At the right time, they asked him this question: "Teacher, we know that you say all of this is straightforward, and what you teach us is right. You give us the true ways of God. You're the one who shows no favoritism to anyone's status. So we ask, is it proper or not to pay taxes to a corrupt government?" Jesus saw right through their cunning ploy and said, "Why are you testing me? Show me one of the Roman coins. Whose head is on the coin? Whose title is stamped on it?" They answered, "Why, it's Caesar's." Jesus said, "Precisely. The coin bears the image of the Emperor Caesar, and you should give back to Caesar all that belongs to him. But you bear the image of God, so give back to God all that belongs to him." The impostors were left speechless and amazed in the presence of all the people, unable to trap Jesus with his words. Some of the Sadducees, a religious group that denies there is a resurrection of the dead, came to ask Jesus this question: "Teacher, the law of Moses teaches that if a man dies before he has children, his brother should marry the widow and raise up children for his brother's family line. Now suppose there was a family with 7 brothers, and the oldest married and died without children. Then his brother married the widow, and he too died with no children. And it continued to happen, one brother after another brother, until each of the 7 had married the widow and died childless. Then finally the widow died too. So here's our dilemma. Whose wife will the woman be when she's resurrected from the dead? Which of the brothers will be her husband, since all 7 once were married to her?" Jesus replied, "Marriage is meant for this world only. Those who are worthy of the resurrection from the dead into glory become immortal like the angels, who never die nor marry. When the dead come to life again, they will be children of God, the children of the resurrection. Even Moses taught the resurrection of the dead when he wrote of the Lord God, who was at the burning bush and said, 'I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.' Don't you agree that God is not the God of the dead, but the God of the living? For in his eyes, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are alive forevermore. He is the God who raises the dead." The experts of the law chimed in, yes, teacher, you speak the truth beautifully." From then on, the religious Sadducees never dared ask Jesus a question again. Jesus then posed this question to the people: "How can the experts of the law say that Messiah is David's son? Haven't you read in the Psalms where David himself wrote, 'The Lord Yahweh said to my Lord, sit near me in the place of authority until I subdue all of your enemies under your feet?'" Jesus explained, "If David calls this one my Lord, how can he be his son?" Within earshot of all of the people, Jesus warned his disciples, "Don't follow the examples of these pretentious experts of the law. They love to parade around in their religious garments so that people honor them wherever they go. They like to sit right up front in every meeting and push their way into the head table at every banquet. And for an offering, they will pray long religious prayers at the homes of widows, cheating them out of their very livelihood. Beware of them all, because one day the judge will strip them of honor and judge them severely." So these two chapters, they kind of touched on a little bit of everything. So in chapter 19, it starts with the story of Zacchaeus, and it was just talking about true repentance and how no one is beyond redemption. And I love the story of Zacchaeus. Beautiful about that is not only did he repent, but he totally changed his life. Zacchaeus was a different person after that, and he committed to showing that change and helping others by doing that. Then in chapter 2, you have the parables about stewardship and responsibility, and Jesus teaching us how to be stewards of everything that we have and calling us to use our resources and that he has given us, that he's blessed us with, and use them responsibly. And then in chapter 3, you have Jesus coming into Jerusalem and everyone waving palm branches and singing Hosanna and just praising him. I love that story. It's such a beautiful mental picture of Jesus coming in on the donkey into Jerusalem. It was like the most humble way he could come in as king. Obviously, he would not come in on chariots and horses, but he chose just a poor little donkey to ride into. And I think that shows just who Jesus is. He is king, but he chooses to come in a very humble way. Luke 20, it was kind of all over the place there as well. Talked about the authority of Jesus and the religious leaders questioning his authority. And then he talks about taxes and what you owe to your government. I mean, he is just hitting every little thing. His time was running out, so he was really trying to teach these people. He was trying to give everyone a fair shot. And I really believe that he was doing everything he could to help the religious people wake up. So he was kind of just touching on everything. I think in these two chapters, he was just really getting down to the nitty-gritty of what we can do to push away religion and cultivate a relationship with God. And like I said, time was running out, so he was really trying to prepare them and help them understand that. But we know how the story ends. So I hope that y'all enjoyed today's chapters and gained something from it. I know there was a lot of lessons in these two chapters, and it was just jumping from one thing to the other, but all of it is still very important, and it's in there for a reason. Nothing in the Bible is not worth reading or learning from. So I hope that y'all enjoyed today's video. We had such a great time at the party last night. It was a lot of fun, and I already can't wait until next year. So I hope that y'all are getting prepared for Christmas, getting last minute Christmas shopping done, and I hope that y'all get to spend it with your families. I know a lot of people are getting together this weekend, so I hope that y'all are having a great day, and I will see y'all tomorrow.